Welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Let's do this thing.
The last one before you come back and we do this live. That's right.
The next episode you hear, we won't have recorded in approximately 2.5 months, so we might be a little bit rusty. Apologise in advance.
No, we're going to do it live. It's literally our first ever live episode. Every time that you pick up Spotify or wherever you're listening to it, that's us
we
doing
will be
it.
doing a fresh episode. Yes. Yeah. Shall we just keep doing some click pitch?
Yeah, why not?
Cool. Well, click pitch is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us, and on the count of 3, 2, 1 click, we're each going to get a new word. We're going to throw them up in the air, catch them, swing them around a bit like a cat in a room that there's enough room to do so, and that's going to mix up into what Trevor is. Trevor has been a fucking waveform that's collecting. And we're going to turn that into a video game idea. So, 3, 2, 1, click.
In.
Eat, like with one N or two?
One N. In.
Okay, just in gummy.
What is on the inside of a gummy?
I mean, I think it's a pretty homogenous, like, structure, right? Like, it's just gummy all the way down? Unless it's not.
What if? Like
Marvel's What If?
I'm thinking that what we think of as the inside of gummy is actually still all outside of gummy, because the inside of gummy is like one atom, like sort of wide.
Gummies are actually like indivisible.
Yeah, all you're ever doing is splitting like the shell,
splitting the gummy.
But to actually,
this is when we learn how to split the gummy.
Yeah, it's a nucleus of gumminess, and like the gummy outer shell. Like all you can do is shave parts off it. But if you leave, if you leave a gummy there for a while, like the shell grows back.
Well, and what if you try to like collide gummies?
Ooh, you fire it out really,
super
really
collider.
Yeah. Super gummy collider. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get gummy fusion?
Ooh, makes double gummies.
I like a world where all science is based on gummy.
Yeah.
There's just so much to discover about gummy physics.
It's called intergummy.
Yeah. The intergummy forces that we need to determine. All of that dark gummy that's out there that we haven't quite figured out
exactly
what it is.
We know that there's two things in the universe, and one is gummy, and
gummy
the other,
and anti-gummy.
The other's got to be like dark gummy or anti-gummy.
Yeah.
Because you can't have one without the other, and the universe weighs too much to know. Like
the universe is actually it's too sticky.
Yeah.
It's too sticky to be accounted by for all the gummy that exists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm imagining even when you're breathing in gummy. Like,
oh yeah, microscopic gummy.
Gummy. You're made of gummy. Like, this is a gummy world.
Yeah, I think basically this is a world where we've discovered
that
another
space,
like fundamental force or component of the universe, which is gummy.
Yeah.
And what we know of as gummy is just like
remnants
gummy.
from that universe.
I mean, it's it's like
it's what's
the macro level.
Yeah. Macro gummy, not the micro gummy.
Yeah.
We don't have the micro gummies here in our universe. Now, what's this game about?
I'm pretty sure we've just explained that.
No,
very clearly.
The game is actually about like what if it's a non-gummy universe, like trying to come in and it's...
That's a bizarre thing to conceptualize.
Yeah, and these scientists
I
don't
don't
know
think
what's
I can
going
get
on.
my head around that.
Like,
I don't think I can get my head around a non-gummy universe, Trevor.
it's pretty hard.
Okay,
but
so-
can you try just for the sake of the
All
game?
right, so well, maybe if like some sort of gummy hole,
Yeah,
gummy wormhole.
yeah. It's a little bit of sour.
It's a snake's alive hole in Australia.
It's a little bit of sour on the outside, though.
Yeah, it's dusting of sour. Yeah,
Yeah, just a dusting.
So I could imagine a world where a gummy wormhole has opened up and let gummy into a non-gummy universe. Okay, no, that's fine.
And let non-gummy into a gummy universe. I think that's the other most
like
important part.
anti-gummy though, or
No,
this is
it's just-
different?
this is-
just there's no.
For the scientists that have found atoms,
But how do you? Okay,
that
that
aren't-
don't have gummy
that aren't protected by the safety that is gummy.
Oh, right, by the gummy shield.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
And-
so you've got
and they're
like
scared.
protons, neutrons, electrons, gummy.
yeah.
Like that's the fundamental makeup of all atoms.
And this atom that they just found, where there normally is gummy, there's just nothing.
There's nothing. Not even
There's-
any sour dusting or anything.
No. It is literally, where gummy normally would be in between the nucleus and the electrons. There's nothing.
Oh, right,
there.
it's in between.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's where gummy usually exists.
Yes.
So the scientists are really, really scared because it starts infecting and starts spreading throughout this universe. There's nothing.
Just stripping these atoms of their gumminess.
Exactly. It's not sticky anymore.
Yeah.
And Spider Gummy, he needs the stickiness to be able to stick to the wall.
he uses those microscopic forces of gummy to stick to walls. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Don't know why he's the only one who thought about it, because everyone can do this in this world. But he's the one hero that, was bitten by a radioactive gummy spider.
yeah, you can just grow those gummy teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. They're kind of mint flavored, but not really.
Each one click, I reckon. I don't think there's any more game yet.
Oh, shit. Infallible.
Suitcase. The infallible suitcase.
Well, we know what's infallible, and that's God.
Yeah.
So,
What would God put in their suitcase?
it's God's suitcase. Like,
but it's fallen to Earth, the mortal plane.
it accidentally was found on like, the plane terminal. How there's always one suitcase at the end. Someone decided to open that suitcase, and turns out that's God's suitcase.
And it was an old British nanny. And she just she pulled out like a coat hook and like a hat rack and an umbrella.
I think you're just going stupid with it now.
No, okay. We won't go that angle. Okay. Someone finds this mysterious suitcase.
Well, I think, in every terminal, every plane terminal in the world, there is always one suitcase.
Yeah.
And it's always the same looking suitcase that always happens to be on that.
Okay. Because it's this omnipresent suitcase. It's actually the one suitcase that's somehow in all of these airports at once, and no one's ever grabbed it.
And someone grabs it.
Disappears from every airport.
It disappears from every airport at once. And when they open it, like,
they can travel between every airport.
I was thinking that there's like a bunch of stuff comes like bursting out.
Okay.
A la maybe your Mary Poppins sort of suitcase that feels like
it holds more than it
holds more than it should, because it's
bigger on the
basically
inside.
it's bigger on the inside. Yeah. Well, it's actually smaller on the outside. Is more.
Yeah. It's more accurate.
Yeah. And the rest of the game is you realise that things have gone to shit since you took that suitcase down.
Oh, you've disrupted the universe in some way.
Yeah, and you realise that you've only got a short amount of time to actually get everything back in the suitcase and put it back on the...
Oh, so you're searching for things that have come out that you've pulled out of this suitcase previously. When you start the game, you've already, like, had this suitcase for a while and have been taking things out of it and, like, gifting them to people or something.
Yeah.
And then you're hunting them back down.
I like the idea that you are maybe a stewardess or something like that on the... a brand new stewardess travelling between these different airports, and you keep on...
Meaning that the items are spread across the world.
A couple of these, of these places.
Whatever the routes you were taking.
You happen to see at every single terminal, as you're about to enter onto the plane, you see the same suitcase. And
right. Oh, right. So this is how you noticed that it was something odd. Yeah.
And, you can actually show you getting on at one, and then something happens at, like, the third terminal, and you get knocked into it, and you happen to grab hold of it and pull it off the what's it called?
Right.
You open it up on the plane, and that's when things start going a bit.
And the plane fills up with items that are coming out of this suitcase without...
It explodes.
Yeah.
The whole plane explodes. And you
come floating down on your umbrella into London town.
I don't know, there's just something about, like... Then, an angel comes to you and goes... You were not supposed to get
this shit back.
You were not supposed to open that suitcase. You weren't even supposed to know that suitcase existed.
Everything was left there for someone else.
Everything needs to go back in it, and it needs to go back to where to any airport terminal and go back on, because that's the only thing keeping this place running.
Yeah, and so you spend the game gathering all the stuff, and you finally, like, get the last thing in there and put it back on the conveyor, and it goes through, like, the hole disappears, doesn't come back out the other side.
Like it's
and then
supposed
cuts to God at another airport thing where it does come out, and he's like, fucking finally. And he finally gets to go on his holiday. He's just been waiting.
I just went to the toilet, and it took me a little bit longer.
Yeah, and, like, someone took my fucking suitcase. It's like, all right, like, you, Angel over there, can you go down and just, like, tell them it's dire consequences or something? Like, I just need my fucking suitcase back. Make one of those mortals find all my shit.
He opens it up, and he goes,
where's my sunscreen?
Where's my glasses? Fuck.
Yeah. Credits.
I like that. I really do. It's a fun little fun little world. Not much of a game in there, but I mean there is.
It depends on we just didn't explore what the game bit would be.
Yeah.
Some sort of collectathon. All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
Exposure.
Spew
exposure. There's something. When I think of exposure, I think of, like, photography and that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay. So maybe this is some sort of theme park. You have to capture people mid-spew. It's one of those photo like cameras on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Well, what? Where my mind went was that it's some sort of disease that is spread through vomit.
Yeah.
Through exposure to vomit. Though that would make theme parks a prime, point for spreading, super spreader.
Yeah.
Sort of place.
So, I'm just wondering if, like, with these photos that you're taking, are they like Polaroid sort of things in which you've got to wait for the exposure to go, or is this it's 80s, you click off a whole roll and you don't even know until the end whether you captured the moments that you needed to?
Right, yeah, maybe.
There's something about, like, having that analog sort of feel of you don't know if you caught the moment until...
Well, and is the reason you're capturing all these people spewing because you need to see who was nearby that might have then been exposed?
I think the spewing, you could even get to the point where you're actually, yes, that is something that occasionally gets caught, you know, because it's rides and all this
think
sort
this
of stuff.
game's about capturing the spewing?
I feel a bit queasy about that, so let's just...
Trevor's actually feeling sick. Okay, well, I mean, spewing could not be vomit. It could be spewing other things.
Spewing, I missed that shot. Like...
Oh, yeah, sort of the Aussie, like...
Yeah.
I'm upset about that.
Fucking spewing.
Or just, like, spewing
fucking spewing
words. The Aussiest theme park in the world. Where you're at Wally World. What is it? Is that the fucking D-Generation one?
Wasn't that Piss Week World?
Oh, it's true. No, that was Piss Week World. Was there an actual one that was Wally's World then? What was the one?
There was
that
one.
I'm thinking
There
of?
was one in, like, on Springvale Road that was...
Right, okay. You're right, yeah. I was getting it mixed up with Piss Week World, which I think was a piss take on Wally's World. Are you Googling?
Yeah. Wobby's World.
Wobby's World, that's what it was. Yes,
Yeah.
fucking
In
Wobby's
fucking
World.
Forest
Well,
Hill.
maybe this game is set at Wobby's World or the equivalent, like a really shitty theme park.
Yeah.
And you're a newspaper, like you're the local newspaper doing an article, doing an article because the guy who runs Wobby's World paid off the newspaper editor for a fluff piece, but you're doing hard-hitting journalism.
Yeah.
So you're like finding all the faults in the place and capturing photos of people vomiting.
Yeah, that is definitely something that can happen at one part of it. But because it's set in the 80s and 90s, you're there, you're trying to take the photos and all this sort of stuff. You don't know until you actually
Develop them.
That
Go down to the chemist and...
But of course, if you open it, if it gets opened up, like, and there's too much light, it can expose the film, and that's a bad thing.
Yes.
I kind of like the idea of maybe the camera, you have to be very careful with it because it's very fragile, and if you bump it in the wrong way, the back can spring open and all this sort of stuff.
Right. It's a VR game. So it's all about the physicality of it.
Yeah.
All right, so
fuck yeah.
I saw
Drunken
I saw.
I mean, at the front of that bar, like, the trendy hip cafe next door, they don't like the drunk eyesores that are that stumble out from the bar the next morning.
Or do we take this more literally and you get drunk and then you wake up the next morning and your eyes are sore?
Ooh. They're bloodshot.
Something has happened. Yeah,
you've got pink eye. Dude, why have I got pink eye?
Dude, why have I got pink eye? Dude, where'd my conjunctivitis come from?
Yeah.
Tracking, it's like a hangover-esque with my car. Tracking down who didn't wipe their hands when they went to the toilet.
Who didn't wash their hands, or
who didn't wash their hands, and then shook hands with you, and
you
tracking down the poo particles. You get your little detector.
No,
it's like a Return to the Obra Dinn sort of thing with these scenes, and you're having to like step through them frame by frame.
And you see the handshake. It's like,
you see the handshakes. You're following the track of the poo. And like they like gave a tip to the bartender with a note, and then that note got handed to someone else.
Oh yeah, and it turns out to be like the most absurd,
the most
way
roundabout way. Yeah, and then it turns out it was you.
Just the last scene
from before you left the pub, like before you left.
The last scene is you having gone to the toilet,
badly wiping and then not washing your
and then rubbing your eyes in the taxi on the way home.
Yeah, but that's completely separate events. Like, one's at the start of the night, one's at the beginning. Those poo particles have travelled across, like,
turns out
different
that
people.
everyone else has conjunctivitis, and they're also looking.
Well, yeah, and that's the way you determine. That's the way you, like, track. In that sort of Return to the Obra Dinn style.
Oh yeah, there's
or the Spy Party highlight lowlight is you click on them and they get bloodshot eyes. It's like, okay, I definitely went through that person.
Okay, kind of like the Return of the Obra Dinn. You start at the end of the book where you see where you rubbed your eye, like, and okay,
yes,
it was in the taxi,
of course,
and then it's like, you see, as you go back, there's like this one. The real cause, and that's part of this diary that
right.
You get back there, but you see something before that, and it's like it's just this, you rocking up with all these people, and I know in the line you see a whole heap of other people that you eventually would notice. Oh yeah, every single one of these will get conjunctivitis through this night.
Yeah, that's it. Like, essentially, you're tracking through these disjointed little vignettes at different times in the night, who is touching who in different ways, and you have to, like, find the clock. You have to find a clock in every scene. or just, like, some context clue to figure out, like, where in the timeline this fits in, because it really matters if, this like nightclubbing douchebag shook hands with, his mate who showed up. Like, when did they show up? Was it before or after that douchebag, touched the note that had the poop particles on it? Because otherwise it will or will not bring that other person into contention for having
been the
carried it on. Yeah.
But then it just being him from the very start of the night when he first, like, first. I'm thinking, an hour into the night where he's already had 5 drinks and
right. Yeah. You finally get to the scene where he goes there, and by that point you've, like, unlocked your poo particle detector, so they glow. And you just see this scene of him coming out of the stall, his hand glowing green. And he, like, touches the door handle. And you know that someone else had grabbed it off that door. That's where you traced it back to up to this point.
Yeah. For some reason I didn't see him coming out and, doing that sort of stuff. I saw him mid-wipe. That's where it stopped.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you so because you can sort of what's the word, scrub around in each scene. You have to remember that you can sometimes scrub earlier into the scene. So yes, the scene starts with him coming out, but if you scrub backwards, he goes back in, and yes, it, like, goes. The wipe happens. The bad wipe.
I kind of like that.
Title of the episode.
It's not even at the end, that he rubs his eye. He literally wipes and then just rubs his eye straight away.
You reckon it just happens immediately? No, I think that'd be an anticlimax. I think it has to be that you see the rub at the end. Like, I want that once you've unlocked all the scenes, essentially, I want you to be able to trace. Like, you get a fly through. You get a fly through where it's focusing on the specific poo particles.
Oh my god!
As they cross through everyone's various things and get in your eye in the cab on the way home.
And it comes from, not you rubbing your own hand. It's like you have a note that you got as change that. Someone else that you shook the hands of.
I think maybe you washed your... Like, maybe what happens is it's not even that you didn't necessarily wash your hands right away. It's like you went to you touched the door handle and then you're like, or like pushed on the door or something. It's like, oh shit, I didn't wash my hands. Wash it off.
Or you turned on the tap. You washed your hands, you turned it off, but it's still on the tap. And that's where it sort of came from, because you didn't use soap. And it comes from the following.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, click.
Oh, I don't know if we can beat that one, man. All right. Rainforest.
Overview.
Oh, okay. Is this literally a forest of rain? Ooh, like some sort of, weird place.
Or it's an invisible forest that when it's raining, you can actually see the trees because it...
Oh, that's kind of neat. That'd be a cool effect. Invisible forest.
Yeah. And just,
or maybe when it's dry, like you can only see it when it's rain, but it actually appears in the rain makes it like show up.
Yeah.
It's not just that you can see where the rain is hitting. You get this cool, like, it's starting to rain, and the color and shape all comes into this forest from the top down.
Oh, and we can actually explain it away by this is the way that the forest protected itself by basically
from humans,
basically only existing when it can get sustenance.
Yeah, and because humans by this point have evolved that like they really hate rain, so they don't go out in the rain.
Yeah. And that happened from when Adele sang that song where she set fire to the rain, and people thought it was literal, so they didn't want to go outside because
people got very stupid, or just like and then
it's idiocracy.
Someone turned that song up.
Idiocracy. Yep.
Yeah.
It's what plants crave.
Fire rain.
Oh fuck! I love that movie.
I don't think that's going anywhere though, so I think let's do one last one. It's a click.
Cool effect,
I like the welcome to Bitstorm, where we come up with cool shader ideas.
Welcome to Shadercast.
Tablespoonful.
Really?
Yeah.
Tablespoonful. Blind.
Oh, okay. You're baking, but you don't have any measuring spoons, and so you're doing it blind, like not literally blind, but you're having to just go by feel. You're having to find things.
Have to go by
house.
Feel.
Find things around the house that you think are probably the right measurements for each. Ooh. So it's like, okay, I'm going to put in
a boot's full.
A boot of flour.
I fucking love that. It's a hat of milk.
Yes. And you can't do halves and stuff. It's literally, okay, I'm baking cookies. Here's the recipe. What are the measuring units I'm going to use? And
ankle
you have to
sock
go around the house.
Okay, great. I've got ankle sock. You take it off and just fill it up.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Fucking handbag full of sugar. Just a handbag of sugar makes the cookies taste real nice.
Okay, I like the idea that you can actually test some of these things out to get a feel as to the sort of sizes,
like what they might hold.
Hold.
Yeah. Okay. Like fill them with water or something.
Yeah, or just you get a chance at the start of, well, I've got 2 ankle socks. I can see how much one is going to fit. Like, so it's like, ooh.
Right. Well, I think you just learn over time as well, because I feel like you're doing multiple recipes.
Yeah.
And you have to learn based on... I think you get an outcome, but it tells you this was too dry, or this was too sugary, or this was too salty, and you have to figure out, okay, so I used, the dog's bowl for the salt.
Yeah.
Probably too big.
Too much, yeah. What if I used an egg cup? Is that
That's where I was going. That egg cup. Yeah, exactly.
A shot glass. A shot glass of milk. Like, is that enough milk?
Maybe I feel like a shot glass is maybe like that is already a standard measurement. Like all shot glasses, aren't they supposed to be a certain amount of volume? I feel like that's
true.
too close.
That's too close.
It's nothing standard in the house.
They look around and their roommates just smashed all the
all the shot glasses and measuring cups,
but left an egg cup there. Like,
yeah,
an egg cup.
Well, I think an egg cup because egg cups are probably not standard,
and a bowl because a bowl doesn't.
I think just generally bowls. Yeah, you've got a certain size of bowl in the house.
A plate.
You don't know what it is.
Like what's a plate full of milk? A saucer of milk.
So things are very, very shallow. Yeah. I'm trying to think of containers that you have that aren't standard in a
thermos.
Thing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thermos.
Mouthful.
Yeah. A mouthful of sugar.
Yeah, don't do a mouthful of flour though.
No, double handful. Like you just.
Yep, just a scoop. Yeah.
I mean, a pinch of salt is that's a thing, so you can't go with that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah,
but you can go with a handful of flour.
You just have to use just use tongs. You just have to pick up
a tong
sugar with tongs.
Tongs of sugar.
3 tongs of sugar. 4. Just 4. You've got no spoons in the house, just forks and knives. You can balance milk on a knife.
7 knivefuls of milk.
So basically, every recipe you go in, and you've just got this fixed amount of things that you can find around the house, and you have to decide which ones are. Yeah,
fucking 7 knivefuls of milk. That's so fucking great.
All right. Well, that's it again. We did another one.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, we managed to buffer like 10, 11 episodes, which is cool.
Have a good trip.
Yeah, thank you.
By the time that everyone's hearing this, like
it will be done.
over.
The waveform will have collapsed.
But trip. Thank you so much for helping me buffer all these episodes.
It's all right. I feel like we're ending the podcast or something. No, we'll be back next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week.
I think
for me, it's going to be, for both of us, it's going to be like 10 weeks before we get to record another one.
It's going to be a long 11. Time. Yeah. I'm going to miss it.
3 fucking months, pretty much. Fuck.
That's it.
We're going to forget how to do it. So next week is going to be the most rusty episode that we've ever done.
Or it's going to be brilliant because we'll have stored up all of our creative energy.
I think we need to actually get our buffer back a little bit because, recording week to week has been insane.
Yeah, we can start doing multiples again.
It's been good.
Yeah.
Been very good.
All right, cool. If you want to find all of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/bitstorm and give them a listen.
If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. I was the bass player, Ben was the singer, and we're two of the 4 original members.
Mm.
Well, technically I'm an additional member that came along.
But we're not going to go into the history of it here. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I think we just need maybe like a pencil sharpener of sugar in this one.
Yep. What about a AA battery holder of salt?
Seems about right to me.